A roll in the hay, getting lucky, knocking boots, no matter what you call it. Yes, I know. Sex has the potential to impact your overall health and well-being for better or worse.
I've never heard knocking boots, but anyway. Can kissing cause depression? Will indulging in afternoon delight make you more productive? And just how much time should you be spending between the sheets? Here to answer all the tough questions is relationship therapist and sexologist Isaiah McKimmie. Hello, nice to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
OK, let's start with this new study that suggests you can catch depression and anxiety from kissing.
So this is really interesting research. We know that gut bacteria has strong links to mental health, and we also know that partners share bacteria through things like kissing. So the researchers in Iran followed newlywed couples where one partner had high rates of anxiety or depression. What they found is after a few months, the healthy partner's bacteria started to look more like their partner's, and it coincided with rising symptoms of anxiety and depression. So this is really early research, and obviously these are complex topics, but it's an issue that's going to be worth watching.
How interesting.
Really?
So we become quite synergistic and sort of blend.
That's right.
On a biological level.
That's right. So the bacteria starts to match each other, and it means then they're starting to experience the same kind of moods and symptoms of each other.
Wow.
Wow, there you go. Now, Sweden, when we think of Sweden, we think IKEA, but the Swedes are also leading the way when it comes to, well, connecting sex and productivity.
So people who have sex the night before are more productive at work the next day due to a boost in mood and also increased energy levels. They also tend to get along better with their co-workers. So a politician in Sweden has suggested that workers be given an hour off each week so that they can go home and be intimate with their partner as a way of boosting morale and productivity. Now, unfortunately, his idea wasn't adopted, but it does present a really strong case for businesses making sure their employees have healthy, intimate relationships.
Was he serious when he suggested
He
that?
was.
it really?
Because the links to productivity are very clear.
You've got to love those Swedes.
They're great,
Haven't
aren't
you?
they?
They're
So progressive.
Got an Allen key for everything.
What are some other benefits of sex on our overall health?
So we know there are a lot of benefits, including improving our cardiovascular health, lowering our risk of heart attack, and improving our overall immune function. It also helps us lower stress, which can help us sleep better. It boosts our mood, lowers rates of depression, and really importantly, it can help improve connection and satisfaction in a relationship, which then has further benefits to our health and well-being.
Do you agree, Doc?
Yeah.
But we've got a doctor right here. What do you think?
Trying to link the two, but yeah, look, I'd agree with that. I would concur on that. My patients don't tend to get intimate quite as much as humans do. We tend to give an operation for that. So.
I would have thought they would.
No, they hump.
Yeah.
But that's not a sexual thing. It's not the time or the place to be discussing pet
Dogs
humping.
humping is not a sexual thing.
No, it's not. It's often a playful thing, or I'm sorry about this. It's like
I'm learning something new here.
a dominance thing, or
Really?
yeah. Sometimes they get a bit excited, but it's not a sexual thing.
Well, I know that
they're normally desexed when they do it, so it's not a hormonal.
But I thought this was a desire thing, wasn't it?
No, it's just.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
So sex can improve health, but sexual challenges can be a sign of underlying health conditions. What do you mean
That's
by
right.
that?
So especially for men, when they're experiencing challenges with sexual function, it can be one of the early indicators of some more serious underlying health conditions. So high blood pressure, risk of heart attack, stroke, and it's also strongly linked to anxiety and depression. So if any men listening are experiencing problems with sexual function, it's really important that they go and see a doctor or a therapist to get everything checked out.
And just mentally, they carry around that weight, if you like.
Yeah, then it can create really a bit of a negative cycle, because when there are challenges with function, it tends to impact their self-confidence, and that impacts their mood even further.
Yeah, big question. How often? I mean, is there a magic number for how often you should be getting intimate, or what's normal?
It's a very common question, Chris. It's okay.
It's okay. Can I answer the first bit?
Please.
You're going to say something like, there is no such thing as normal.
No such thing as normal. It all depends on the couple and what's going on in their lives. But in terms of
But
health
there's
and
always a
well-being,
but.
there's
There's a but.
always...
Yeah.
Look, we know that average is about once a week, and we also know that in terms of benefits to health and well-being, people who have sex about once a week or a little bit more on average are going to experience the maximum benefits. Of course, the quality is also important, not just the quantity.
Okay.
And if you're in Sweden,
If you're in Sweden, go and
multiple
talk to
times
your
for
boss. Or
productivity. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Just as long as you're only talking to your boss. What's the advice for building a more positive sex life? What if someone's having sort of issues in this area? What should they do to start building a better sex life?
Yeah, so a great sex life doesn't just happen, but there are things we can do to help create it. So building relationship connection. We know that couples who have a healthier relationship also have better sex. Even though it's uncomfortable, learning to talk about sex openly, honestly, and comfortably can make an enormous difference. So we know that everyone's going to like different things and we're going to want different things even on different days. So being able to communicate that with a partner is going to help improve pleasure for both people and also making sex a priority. We know that couples who make sex a priority and make time for it are going to experience sustained intimacy and desire over the long term.
Why did you point at me then?
Hold on.
I've never seen a segment with more crowd participation. There are people giggling, laughing, throwing in their comments.
Okay.
You're pointing at me.
No,
over
that was
certain
an
topics.
off-camera thing that's like you're right to wrap this up.
Oh,
and,
okay.
yeah,
I thought
and
you were saying,
I'm sorry you took it that way.
No, maybe I'm a little sensitive on the topic. I'm sorry you have to witness this. Thank you so much. It's been great to chat.
And what I would have done is just...
Sure. Okay, understood. Thank you for future reference.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Thank you.